over their tits, and then they shut up.
Also, don't you want to be president someday, Alexandra?
They carrot. They hang the fucking
and
carrot.
She probably could. She could probably pull it off. So there's a lot of factors, you know, and you're basically auditioning to be the spokesperson for the machine.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it worked for Biden. He's the perfect example.
Yeah.
Like, think about it. If you're part of the machine, you look at Biden's career and you're like, oh, it does work out. Yeah. If I just play by the rules of the machine, they'll put me in position one day and I'll have the power.
You don't even have to be good.
You don't. You have to be there.
Especially if you have a bad guy. Like, well, that's one of the reasons why Hillary wanted Trump to run.
Because
she's like, I'll beat that guy. That guy's an idiot.
I can't beat somebody that's
competent.
Competent.
Yeah. And actually looks like a leader.
Yeah.
Listen to this fucking maniac from The Apprentice.
And what does she find out?
I want to run him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whoops.
Yeah.
Whoopsies.
Yeah.
And now he's more popular than ever.
I think it's easy for him, actually, this time around.
I don't know if it's real.
What do you mean?
Let's find out. Let's find out if they can rig it. Let's find out.
Oh, yeah, they'll do everything they can.
If the 2020 elections weren't rigged, let's say they weren't.
Yeah.
You don't think there's something that can be done to move things one way or the other? There's certainly the manipulation of media.
Of course.
Right? Now, you want to talk about election interference. So forget about mail-in ballots. Forget about all that stuff. Yeah. Access to information will affect elections.
For example,
when the government steps in and tells Twitter to censor the Hunter Biden laptop story. Yeah. That laptop story, let's say they went all in, they distributed it to all the media, and then Fox News starts telling you all the evidence that shows that Biden was getting kickbacks and he's the big guy and 10% and all this money that went from millions of dollars in Burisma and all these. Where's that money gone?
Yeah.
And where were the contracts?
Yeah.
What's happening? How does he have this job teaching for $1 million a year where he doesn't even show up? Like what is all of this
That's the
stuff?
game.
Like what is this?
That's the game.
And if that got into fence sitters, people are like, I don't know, Trump's kind of gross, but Biden's old. But I'm still going to vote for Biden because Trump's a bad guy. And then, oh, my God, Biden's a bad guy. Trump might be the answer. You know what? We were fine while he was in office. Let's run with him. Yeah. I mean, it's basically election interference because you're withholding information that would be detrimental to the person that you want to win. You're interfering.
Absolutely election interference.
So anybody said there's no election interference. That is election interference. And then you have Google search results, which Robert Epstein in his research has shown that Google search results, I know, right? Google search results have shown that you can manipulate, and with his research, you can manipulate the search results through the algorithm, and that will like highlight negative stories about the people that you want to be negative or positive stories about the people you want to be positive, and it can have an overall effect on how people vote. Because most people are surface information gatherers. They read headlines like, got it, and then they go with it. And the headline might be horseshit, and you might get into the article. I mean, we've done that so many times. But wait a minute. This specifically says that that's not true. So what are they saying in the article? Complaints of. Oh, it's a complaint of. But then you get into it, you go, oh, but it's not real.
Transvisibility day.
There's so many things like that that can just affect public opinion. And there's so many people that will just say things publicly and they think that this is a fact. And they don't know what like how many people you've seen got caught in that women only make 70 cents to a man's dollar. How many people you ever seen get caught in that thing? How come women should be paid the same that men are paid? No, argue in the streets. But they don't even understand what the argument is. The argument is men pick different jobs. They work longer hours. They don't take maternity leave. Overall, they make more money. This is why. They take jobs that are more dangerous. They take jobs that are higher risk.
It also includes the most wealthy people, which are men. So that's going to skew it in a dramatic fashion.
Dramatic. The top billionaires, they're all men except for chicks that got divorced.
I was talking about
like Mackenzie Bezos.
That is the best way to get rich. If you want to be a female billionaire, chop it in half.
But the thing is, like, female billionaires don't like that label that they got it, so they become philanthropists.
Oh, that's why Bezos' wife is.
She's a philanthropist. Billionaire philanthropist, Mackenzie Bezos. Where'd she get that money? Just being awesome.
Billionaire?
Just being amazing.
Yeah.
No, she was married to a psycho. The psycho made all the money. And now she's distributing it to left-wing causes, and all the right-wing guys are complaining. And Elon's mad.
Wait, why is he
Elon
upset?
was saying something about her distributing, these rich divorcees distributing to the downfall of democracy. Something.
He's been going in.
He goes in, man.
It's really interesting to see how political he's gotten, and that immediately upon being, because he was the darling of the left and the right.
Oh yeah, big time the left.
But the left obviously for the cars, right?
Yeah.
But the right because he's a successful businessman, right?
Yeah.
And the second he takes a position politically, he is chastised, shamed, ridiculed. And even before that, think about it. Everybody was invested in Tesla because the stock was going crazy. So not only are you the darling, you're making me money.
Right.
I want you to be great.
Yeah.
Once you're making people money, they don't want to write bad shit about you.
Yeah.
Especially they got $1 million invested in Tesla.
Yeah.
I'm not going to ridicule this guy and watch half of my money go away.
Yeah.
And the second he opened his mouth about politics,
and the thing is, he snaps back at people.
he goes.
Which is crazy.
He goes.
Bro, he dunks on people.
Yeah.
Which is hilarious.
Yeah, but I'm also just like, don't you got some science to do? Get off
how
Twitter.
are you doing this?
Yeah.
I don't understand how he does any of it.
AI, dude. He created another Elon.
Maybe he is. Maybe he's AI.
But what he's done with Twitter or X is really interesting.
I call it Twitter.
Yeah, it's hard for me to change.
Because it is an X that you made, or is it a tweet? Did you tweet something?
It's a tweet.
I tweeted it.
Yeah, it's Twitter.
It's kind of funny though because it is X.
Yeah, but it's Twitter.
But it's Twitter.
But like the idea that he is going to uphold this soapbox for free speech, despite having some awful things said, the greater outcome will be hopefully a civil society where ideas can permeate freely.
He may have very well saved
That
humanity in some way. Because by providing this one platform where people can actually speak their mind, up to a point, I mean, there's still some rules,
sure,
but up to a point, you get away with a lot of shit. I see so much racist shit on Twitter now that I never saw before, like openly racist,
really,
openly racist.
Wow,
yeah, and then you see people chiming in that agree with it, and it's like, wow,
and then people chime in that disagree.
Yep.
And those voices are all heard, and there's a place for all of them.
Yeah, and you just have to know that people do think certain ways. Even if you don't like it, you have to know that people do think certain ways, and the answer to bad speech is not silencing speech. It's better speech. It's more compelling.
But you need to have a place where it can exist in order for there to be speech to even be consumed.
Right, and there was no place before he took over Twitter.
And that's the thing, that the pendulum, the shift that we were talking about, where it's like you have these pieces that came out that we thought were news. Now we see them as hit pieces. Right. And I think kids that are growing up with all this information and disinformation and misinformation, all this shit, I think that for us it's a little bit more difficult, but for them they will have the ability to discern and understand that they have to do a little bit more research.
Yeah.
I think we get caught victim of it like old women when they get a phone call from some Nigerian prince and they need 10,000. That's us with news now. And we're like, wait a minute, fake things can exist? Right. But I think the kids are going to grow up going, oh yeah, everything's fake. You just got to do some more research and figure it out. Yeah. I hope. That's my hope.
Well, enough kids listen to podcasts, which is what really bothers people, that they're getting their information from people like us.
Well, they have to.
People like us don't have to lie.
Yeah.
We have zero incentive to lie.
Yeah.
And when we're talking about these things, like, this is what I know.
Yeah.
These are the facts. This is real. You're being fucked. You're being lied to. And it's not like there's not a motivation.
Yeah.
Look at the amount of money they're making by fucking you.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a insane sum of money that's involved in a lot of these decisions. Yeah. And these decisions roll on whether or not we complain or not. But at least it kind of puts things in check.
Maybe that's the solution. Just show how much money people are making.
Yeah.
Show how much money CNN makes from the pharmaceutical industry.
Oh,
and then you will look at every story about pharmaceuticals through that lens.
Brought to you by Pfizer.
That's it.
Anderson Cooper. They do it like right in your face. Brought to you by Pfizer.
The vaccines are perfect. Let's go to a commercial.
Yeah, brought to you by Pfizer.
Yeah.
You will not get this virus. You will not transmit this virus. The virus stops with you. And no one complains.
Now, do you think that the people that are disseminating the information are aware of the bullshit, or they are the useful idiots? Meaning like...
I think at a certain point in time, they must be aware.
And if they're aware, they're evil.
They're trapped. They're trapped. Because I think initially most people did think that the vaccines were going to work.
And it doesn't have to be vaccines. It can be anything. But once you're pushing out information that you know to be false,
right,
and you're potentially hurting people,
right,
it doesn't have to be vaccines. It could be anything.
Right now, you're evil.
That's evil.
That's evil. Yeah.
I don't fault someone who's maybe ignorant or a useful idiot or really passionate about a thing. but the person that knows
Right.
and still puts it out.
But you have plausible deniability because you're using the opinion of the air quotes experts that are sanctioned. And so they will tell you things and you will say things and you will read articles that support that and you will go, oh, this is a fact.
Not if you're motivated by the agenda of your sponsors. Like if you know that you have to have a certain opinion
Right.
on the platform and that opinion is based on the people who are paying to sponsor the show,
Right.
You are aware.
But that's also supported by these experts.
But we can find experts for anything.
Since you're not an expert and you're just a talking head on CNN,
Yeah.
your job is to say, but do you understand that the CDC has disagreed?
Yeah.
The FDA has said this is not approved.
Yeah.
The NIH has shown to various studies that this is not correct.
Yeah.
And you can say that and you'll be accurate.
Yeah.
You would be accurate as the news person on
So
CNN
you have your
that's telling
bullshit
a
justification.
lie.
You have your justifications
Yes.
so you can go home and sleep at night.
And a lot of them don't even do any digging. They're there
Reading
to do
the
their
teleprompter.
job. They read the teleprompter. They're fucking gambling on sports betting or something. Who knows what the fuck they're doing with their spare time? But we're just assuming these people are truth tellers. They're
Yeah.
not.
Yeah.
We're assuming they're even journalists. They're not.
Yeah.
Some of them are, but most of them are just talking heads. Just
maybe
pretty
that's-
people that are good at reading.
That's the transition that we're going through right now. Is just because someone is giving us information on a news platform with a ticker does not mean that they know anything that they're talking about. It doesn't mean that it's necessarily true.
Not only that, we are sure they are highly motivated by money.
Yeah.
Highly motivated.
Yeah.
Sponsored by money, put in position by money.
Yeah.
The commercials, it's all money, 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 making that money.
Yeah.
Yeah. And no one's listening. That's what's crazy.
But isn't that a beautiful thing?
It is a beautiful thing.
That means the people know, and the people will seek out the information that
Yes.
they deem truthful. Yes, there's going to be some wackos that seek out the most extreme versions. Yes, that's us sometimes because it's really fun. I
Yeah.
want to indulge in all the conspiracies. It's awesome.
It's fun.
But at the end of the day, when I have to make a real decision,
Right.
I'm going to seek out the information.
Right.
I'm going to read as many things as possible. If it's my life on the line or my kid's life on the line, or my friend's life on the line,
Yeah.
I'm going to actually go out there and figure it out. Hopefully.
And the thing is, if it's not for a few brave people that stand up and tell you the truth, how do you, if there's no Peter McCullough, if there's no Robert Malone, if there's no RFK Jr.,
Malone is the
if there's no
facts guy,
Pierre
yeah,
Corey,
yeah.
if there's none of these people that
Yeah.
stand up and lose like a sizable portion of their income, their
Yeah.
careers get destroyed, their reputations get dragged through the mud,
Yeah.
hit pieces get written about them. If it wasn't for these people that stand up and do that,
Yeah.
and I never would have imagined in my wildest dreams that I would get sucked into that.
What do you mean?
I never thought that I would get sucked into something like that where people would be like lying about me. But when
yeah.
you watch it, like on CNN,
That's
just
a function of
flat
power, dude. Like,
out lying. But it's
yeah.
wild.
Yeah.
And the dumbest lie.
Yeah.
Like, bitch, do you think I'm taking horse medicine? You don't think I know like really good doctors that are telling me what to take?
Yeah.
And how about the fact that I got better quick? That doesn't freak you out at all?
Yeah.
I got better real quick.
Oh, you were so happy, I bet, when that shit kicked. What was it, 48 hours that it was? You were
Yeah.
down? Yeah.
Like 3 days later after I was sick, I made that video and I
Yeah.
was fine.
Yeah.
3 days after that, I did 10 rounds on the bag.
Wow.
6 days in, I did 10 rounds in the bag. I'm like, let's see how I feel. I worked out 5 days in. I felt pretty good. I said, all right, tomorrow, let's get after it.
Wow.
And I did 10 fucking rounds on the bag, full
Yeah.
clip, no problems.
Yeah.
No problems. No lack of energy. I felt 100% 6 days later.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
But I'm on top of my fucking health all day long, all
that's-
year round.
Yeah.
I'm always in shape. I always take vitamins. I'm
Yeah.
always eating well.
Yeah.
I sleep good. I do
Yeah.
a lot of things.
Yeah.
Like you can't say that everyone has to adhere to the rules
Yeah.
of this thing when you're lying about the results, you're lying about the studies,
Yeah.
you're influencing all these talking heads to say these things that turn out to not even be remotely true. Not only that, there's no studies behind it. They had to admit when they were speaking in front of whatever it was in the UK that they never even tested these drugs for transmission. They just tested them to see if they created the antibodies. And then all that other stuff they said was bullshit.
Yeah, that's the tricky thing about like making rules for 300 million people is that 300 million people are not the same. The way that you take care of your body is completely different than some asshole that's a consultant. He's sitting at his fucking desk all day, weighs 300 pounds. And that rules, it's like an SAT. Like we have to find a way to judge intellect so that kids can go to school or not. There's some kid who flunked the SATs who's a fucking genius and
Yeah.
he's going to go out there and make money.
He's just bored with these
Yeah.
things and he doesn't pay any attention. It's what you focus on.
Yeah.
You could be a very smart person who doesn't study.
Yeah.
and you take classes and you fucking bomb in your
Yeah.
classes. You suck.